How are you doing, everyone? So today I have a very interesting one. So I'm in Legacy, Mayfeld Knight, level 277 at the moment, and I'm about to reach, as you can see here on the bottom left, I'm about to reach melee 110, which is a great mark. But the objective of this video is to try to do some analysis on how long did it take for me to get here, as well as how much did it cost for me to get here. Of course, it's mostly going to be assumptions because most of those costs are going to be estimates, but I'll show you what I mean real quick. So I just checked and it would get me up to top 100 to be skills 110. It's a great mark. Legacy has been run since 2011. Pretty happy with that. However, I was checking the wiki. As you can see here on the right, there's a calculator on how long does it take to train skills 10 up until 110 in Legacy as a knight. So it says here 79 days, 17 hours, and 49 minutes. I built this table with support of ChatGPT, just, I didn't want to make everything from scratch, but here is my rationale behind it. So let's start from the beginning. So how many hours is 79 days, 17 hours, 49 minutes, and 20 seconds? It's this first value here, 1,913 hours. Then the next value we are considering here is 0.3, which basically means 300 watts is the average consumption of a middle to low spec GPU enabled computer. We then multiply the total number of hours versus the power consumption per hour of our standard GPU enabled computer. This would bring us to a total energy consumption of about 574 kilowatt hour. Now the average cost per kilowatt hour, at least here in Ireland, it's around 30 cents of an euro. Now some countries this might be more expensive. Even in Ireland during the past couple of years it reached all the way to 45, 50, but now it went down back to 30. That's without VAT of 9% anyhow, but let's keep it simple, 30 cents per kilowatt hour. Now the total energy cost in euro would be around 172 just to keep a machine running for almost 2,000 hours. Now let's go further to the training dummy cost. So let's assume that you can only, train 8 hours a day, and 8 hours is a dummy, so you're spending 5 MC. Of course, this cost can be shared if you're in a guild, if you have multiple dummies, if you're training without a dummy, so you can avoid this. But anyhow, a cost of 5 MC in Legacy would be around €7 per 100 MC. That buying from Medivia store, of course, straight away from the website. So I put 35 cents. I think it's a fair price for 5 MC. So it would take how many intervals of 8 hours to reach that to almost 2,000 hours? Would take about 240 intervals. So the total training dummy cost would be 239 intervals of 8 hours. So you would need around 239 dummies to hit that 110 skill, which would cost around 83 euros in dummy costs. So that would bring the subtotal for energy plus dummy of around 255 euro, which is a considerable amount of money. But of course, it's not money that actually comes out of your pocket straight away. It comes out of your energy bills. It comes out, the MCs might, but this one might be a bit hidden on the energy bills. So moving on to something that I also think it's important to take into consideration. So at least for me, I normally leave it training in every 30 minutes so I don't log off. I have to click a food. I have to, do some action to not log out because Medivia has a time off of around 30 minutes. If you don't do any actions, then you just log out. With that into consideration, what I'm taking here as cost is out of 8 hours on a day, every 30 minutes, I do an action for about a minute, maybe 2 minutes. If I'm not just staring at the screen by watching the character train on the market and such. So I put that every 8 hours, I spend 15 minutes doing an action to avoid log out. So we have 239 intervals of 8 hours. which if I consider that out of 8 hours, I spent 15 minutes doing something. So that means that every 8 hours, 15 minutes I spend of my actual time, which I could be doing something else. So I took that into total in-game effort of about 60 hours. It's how long it takes to maintain that anti-log off. And that assuming an average minimum wage here in Ireland of about 15 euro, maybe it's actually around 12, but let's put 15. Also, this would be around 900 euros of your time that you could be doing something else. If you do take that time into consideration, it would be around almost 1.2 thousand euros, so 1,200 euros, which is an insane cost just to get to skills 110. Now, let's check the training station method, right? So same thing, takes about almost 2,000 hours. And what I did here is I said, okay, so how many hours the last level of training station allows you to click and get out of progress is 3 hours. So it's 5.4 thousand tries for nights. This is nights exclusive, of course, which equals to around 3 hours. With that in mind, we would need around 638 times to utilize the training station. Assuming that we can only use 4 times a day, which is the maximum, that would be around 159 days to complete the training from skills 10 to 110. Now, the cost per training station usage would be around 6 Medivia coins, bringing our total needed for training around 3.8 to 7,000 Medivia coins. There's an upfront cost for the Royal Training Station, which is around 1.4 thousand Medivia coins to buy 3 levels out of it, so you can use the level 3 straight away, which would bring our cost to 5,227 Medivia coins. Assuming a cost per Medivia coin of around 7 cents, would bring our total cost in euro to 267.94 euro. Of course, I'm not considering here the cost for labor, the cost for energy, the cost for dummies, just because those 3 variables are not required for this method. Hence, I believe this method is way more effective and time-saving, even though it seems expensive at first. Also, another very important metric is that with the training station method, you would get to skills 110 in 159 days if you use 4 times a day those training stations, while in the normal training dummy method, assuming you spend 8 hours training per day, it would take you around 239 days to reach the same, which is a 50% increase compared to the training station method, which is unbelievable. So that's it, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this format. Of course, this changes based on the server you are, as well as the location you are, because most of those metrics, as I said, can change based on geography as well as the hardware you're using. So this video was based on rough metrics, but I believe it was something similar to this 1.2 thousand euro that costed for me to get from skills 10 to 110 in those 2.5 years playing Legacy. So I did enjoy a lot creating this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it too. Hit that like and subscribe button if you guys haven't done it yet. It does motivate me to continue doing this sort of content. I'll see you guys around. Cheers.